did you become a priest?
You know, people often ask me that, and I was in my late 20s when I did that. I was actually a salesman for AMP Incorporated. Yeah. And salesmen aren't known for their piety. So when a salesman left AMP to become a priest, it was amazing because the whole company, they had 25,000 employees at that time. Almost all the upper management knew that a priest left, to become a priest. And it was interesting because years later, I did a funeral where one of the executives died, and I actually did that funeral. And I saw these guys, and they said they heard
that the salesman
had left to become a priest. Yeah, so it was pretty neat, just seeing those guys. One of them said to me, as I was walking away, he said to me, he grabbed me by the arm and he said, Father, he said, you made the right choice. It's funny too, there's a story, I called my boss and, people say to you, was seminary tough, was decision tough. The hardest thing in the whole process was calling my boss, telling him that I'm quitting. That was like rough. Because people often ask me, they say, was it hard? And I said, well, of course there's a whole decision process along with that. But the toughest part was calling my boss. And at the time I was living in upstate New York in Binghamton. My boss was in Long Island. So I really wouldn't see him often. And he had a secretary back then, name was, I think Mary was actually her name. And she left. When I told Stan, finally got the courage to do that, he said to me, he said, Ted, it's so weird. He said, because you didn't know Mary when she was first here. She left when you came here, but her husband and her couldn't have any children. So they made a pact with each other that one would go into the seminary if the other died, and one would go into the convent. And her husband died on the way to work at age 42, and she went into the convent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And then, of course, 4 years later, I come and say that I'm joining a priest, and it kind of shook Stan up, to be honest with you. But I remember him saying to me, he said, Ted, what the heck's going on in my office? I said, Stan, you better shape up. But the journey to this, it's all in my mind, like, what's the purpose in life? Like, I was doing well. People think that you make changes in life when you're not doing so well. I was doing very well. Like, my numbers were good. I almost had my degree in business, my master's. So things were good on the surface. But there's something more in life. Do I want to be doing this for the rest of my life?
Yes.
And I think today's world, more than ever, we need to be driven by purpose. Like, we need a purpose outside of our jobs. And that's what I needed. And I think younger people are kind of confused. Like, when you ask them what do they want in life, well, they want to make money or they want to do this, but they need a purpose. And I think we all do in life because we want to make a difference.
Thank you for sharing your faith with 7 Stars of the Blessed Virgin Mary. For more videos and inspiration, please visit our website at ssbvm.org.